In this video, what we're going to be doing is using a program called Letsview to screencast our phone to our computer, and then being able to use a program called OBS, Open Broadcast Software, to then use that as a virtual camera so that you can actually then use that in your virtual conferencing platforms such as Google Meet, Microsoft Teams. So here's where we're going to look at where we can access the two programs I mentioned. So here's Letsview. So it's a free wireless screen mirroring system that you can use on Windows, Mac, Android, iOS, and the TV. I'm only going to look at the Windows and basically the iOS part because that's the ones I use. And so that's where the website, this is the website up here, letsview.com. And the other software is OBS, so Open Broadcast Software. So again, I'm using Windows, so I would click on here, and that'll direct me to where I need to get started. So I actually don't need to do that because I've already got it installed, so I'm just going to cancel that. But that's basically where the two programs are that you will need to do things the way I'm showing you today. So this is what Letsview looks like when you open it up on your computer, at least on a PC. You've got option of phone screen mirroring, which is what we're going to look at, and computer screen mirroring, which is, I haven't done much with it, so I'm not really going to go into that. But the idea with that is that you can actually do it so you can have your computer mirrored onto your phone or iPad or whatever you've got. Now you've got down here is what PC you're on. Down here, you've got your Wi-Fi. I'm going to make sure that's not visible to you guys. And your IP, which again not going to be visible later, but those are the bit of information you've got there. This comes in useful later if you need to, if you're trying to connect to stuff. Now I'm going to go up to here, up the top here, and that's to look at the settings. So this is where you can turn some stuff on and off. So you've got your normal things here. I just have warm and closing. I don't run it to start up, general things like that. So you've got your languages, which I've just got it set to English. Display settings. I've looked at because I use AirPlay because I've got a iPhone. That's what I'm going to be using here. You can set your resolution. You can change it. They got the recommended. I like using 1080p. You've got you can change your audio settings as well. Screenshots, capturing, where it gets captured, and the mirroring. So I'm using AirPlay. If you want to use Miracast, that's probably more going to be for your Android devices. I've got this one enabled, DNLNA. I forget what that one's about. So that's basically how it looks before you do any connection. So we're going to now go look at how it looks like on the iPhone, and then we'll move on from there. Okay, so this here is literally just a screenshot of Letsview on my iPhone. I'll do something a bit more dynamic in a moment, but the reason I wanted to show here is so I could have my mouse overlay and you could notice stuff. So again, you've connected up to your Wi-Fi, which I've already done. It's got your IP address. This is my computer here. And the reason I did a screenshot is at this point, I don't have the software open on my computer deliberately. So you get this screen, and therefore this is what you're going to see. First time you do it, you're probably not going to get that. But again, this is what you're going to see when you turn it on and you haven't got the program on. If I clicked on the redetect, it's basically not going to do anything because I can't actually run it because there's nothing there to detect. So it relies on the program being on your computer and open on your phone as well. Okay, so I'm just going to stop this part here, and then we'll show you some more, something a bit more dynamic from the app. Okay, so now we're actually in the Letsview app on my phone, and what you can see is you've got your Wi-Fi, your IP address. You've got the part where it's talking about disconnecting, so I can disconnect if I wanted to from my phone there, from connecting to this. But at the moment, that's not what I want to do. So what I want to show you, just to show you that I'm going to move into the settings, basic app. Now, one of the things it's worth doing, if you're going to use this as a document camera, I would suggest going display and brightness, Only while you're using this as a display camera, by the way, I would change your auto lock from 30 seconds, which I've got it there. I would probably put it to 5 minutes or never. Always change it back because you don't want to drain your battery, but I would change it that, and I'll explain why when we get into using OBS. But to me, that would be the option to use in this case because it does make your life a bit easier, as you'll see shortly. But again, that's yeah. So basically, how do you actually do it? And we forgot that part because this is a newer phone, so it's a it's a face ID one. You got to do from the top, but if you got one of the older phones, you can sort of swipe up from the bottom. You want to click on this part there where you can do your screen mirroring. So I've got Letsview. That's what my program is. I could do it to my TV if I wanted to, but at the moment I would click on that one, and that allows me to mirror from my phone to my computer. Okay, so that's the process you need to follow. So clearly I've now got the app open on my computer as well, and that's the process you'll need to follow now. Okay, thank you. Let's move on to the next bit. So now we've got OBS open, and the key points that we need to look at are scenes and sources. Scenes are how you set up what you want to show, and the sources are what the parts that make up it. So for example, in the one I've got here, I've got Tinkercad on the iPad. Second, because I'd made 2 versions of it, of this scene, and because I just made a movie on using Tinkercad on the iPad. And in this particular one, I've got my microphone, which is a Yeti microphone, and I've got the document camera, which is what this book is. Good book, by the way. I haven't finished reading it, but as you can see, it's by Kate Jones. Definitely worth having a look at retrieval practice. Now, let's get back to what I was talking about here. I've literally put the Let's Learn Now. That's my logo for my YouTube channel. I put that in there as a bit of an example of what you can put into here, but it's just to show you, make it highlight it, something in a moment. But that's what I can put in my sources. I can put other videos. I could have more photos down here. I could do a range of different things to do that. At the moment, we're going to, the reason I'm doing this first before I go on to the, using the Letsview as a virtual camera, because I wanted to show you something here. So over in this part here is something where we can start virtual camera. So if I click on start virtual camera, what happens then is if I wanted to go and say, go into a Google Meet, I can then select OBS virtual camera and it will show this. So in a moment, we'll head over to there and I'll show you. And that's the reason I'm doing it like this first before I talk about using Letsview as your document cameras. Okay, so let's go over to Google Meet then. Okay, so now we're in Google Meet as an example. And I've deliberately done it so you can't see my email address. It's up in the sort of the top right-hand corner. But what you're seeing is that this is a take from the OBS. So let's actually go change the camera settings, okay? So as you can see, I'll explain why it looks like back to front in a moment. I could do it from my document camera, but it's been used, so it won't actually show anything. I can get my front camera, my back camera, my IR camera if I wanted to, but in this case, I've got my OBS virtual camera. And as you can see, it looks back to front. And there is a reason. I can't remember what the reason is. I had to look it up when I first tried this. But basically the idea is it comes in looking like this, but when you're the person who sees it at the other end, it will be flipped around and they'll be able to read it properly and see it properly. So this is how it would look. So if I join now, I could set up a Google Meet, and I could have people in there, and they would be seeing what's on my on the screen there. And you can see I've taken that from within OBS. And if I was taken straight from the camera, it wouldn't be there. So that's why I put it there, just to make it very clear. So let's go back over to OBS now, and I'll show you how to get the Letsview app onto there. Okay. So as you can see, we're currently back in OBS, and I'm looking at the scenes. So I've created a scene called Letsview. It's literally just click on the add button and you give it a name. And I want to go to sources. I want to add a source because that's where I'm going to get my information through. I'm going to add a source. Now I can call it, I want window capture. and I want to call it something, and I'm going to call it, let's call it iPhone.cam. Okay, doesn't really matter what it's called. It's just something so you can recognize what it is. And I go, okay. Now, what it's looking for here is sometimes it'll pick up programs. In this case, it's picked up the Letsview program. As you can see, it's got some other programs. The reason it's not showing anything at the moment is I haven't connected the Letsview for my phone to the computer. So let's do that now. I'm doing it on my phone, which you can't see clearly. And there's two versions of, so there'll be two of these Letsview points come up. So I'm just going to go okay for the moment, because we have to sort of, this is probably the part that gets, here we go, Letsview, and it selects that. Okay, so it selected my phone, and I'm going to make it in the middle. Okay, so I'm going to go back out, and what might happen is something where it's probably sometimes it can be a bit laggy. If it goes to sleep, so this is why I haven't actually changed it. You know, I said to change it. I haven't changed it yet. If I go, I want to make this part. I don't want to see the Letsview part there. So I'm going to go Alt. I press Alt, and then I drag that that button down, and it highlights just the parts I want. And then I can make this bigger. And I want to fit it within the screen as big as I can. Okay, and as you can see, I've now got my screen showing on the computer. Like I said, it can be a bit laggy. Probably depends a bit on your internet and things like that, and plus we're using it as a virtual camera as well. I'm actually going to stop the virtual camera part for the moment. All right, so I'm gonna, so we can, so it's catching up a bit. It's a bit late, like I said, at the moment on my computer, it's quite laggy. So hopefully if you try this, it's not too laggy. Okay. Now, the biggest issue, and the reason I said change your go to sleep settings is what can happen is it's probably about 10 seconds at the moment. So I've done it where it's nowhere near as laggy as this. So my apologies if this happens. Is if it goes to sleep, so I've got to wait. I've got mine set on 30 seconds, so my battery doesn't die as easily. What can happen is it goes to sleep, and you sort of have to do a bit of a fiddling around to get it to work. Let's actually just put it to sleep. You need to fiddle around to get it to pick up the Letsview app again, and that's why. Yeah, so mine's still connected for some reason. It hasn't detected. That's how lag it is. It's not normally this bad. Probably because I'm trying to do too much on the network at the moment. But that's how you can say put it to sleep, open it up again. Man, that is so laggy. It's not funny. It's going to sleep now. And sorry, this part's a little bit boring, so you might want to have sped this part up. I just want it to go to sleep, because sometimes what will happen is that'll go black, and once that goes black, you have to sort of essentially find that source again. And as you can see, you've got Letsview, but sometimes you need to go to another scene. Sort of, it's like you've got to go to something else, come back, and you'll see that one of these is grayed out. That's the one you had previously. You just need, so now it's going to have gone to sleep. So if I go here, I can't see it anymore. Okay, sometimes I need to go to say something else, come back. Let's go back to that one, and it can get a bit annoying as to why it does it. And there it should be. The biggest issue there is I've got to remember to connect back up as a mirror. It sort of drops the mirror once it goes to sleep, unfortunately, which is the part where I should have been done. So now it's become an active again, and there you are. So you got to make sure you go somewhere else. Oops. You need to see that because I don't know why that did it. It should have, yeah. So yeah, you need to sort of go away, make sure you connect back up, and then it'll see it again. So it's just a matter of, if it goes grey, it means you can't access it anymore. Okay. All right. That's it for the video. So that last bit, it was a bit extended, a bit too long. So yeah, hopefully this helps. Thanks. Bye.